Test, 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 test. The following program is a presentation of the Matt Wrestling Network. Viewer discretion is advised. What's going on, everybody? Welcome to a very special Wednesday night edition of MWF Mattitude. I am Matt Young here as your only host for tonight. Red Jed and Chris Coron are both busy with holiday-related things, so gonna be doing on my own tonight. Jed is supposed to be back Sunday night for the Christmas Chaos pay-per-view. We got 8 matches for you this evening, including a main event with the International Champion Superman teaming up with one of his challengers coming up this Sunday night, Will Smith, against their third challenger, Thanos, from that 3-way dance coming up, and the Undertaker, who scored an upset victory over Superman last week. And in our opener, we've got a huge debut. O.J. Simpson, the newest member and the 4th and final member introduced by New Jack from Murderers Row, makes his debut tonight against Tommy Chong, headed into that 6-man tag team match, pitting Cheech and Chong and the Smoked Turkey from the Dank Odor against O.J. Simpson, Chris Benoit, and New Jack from Murderers Row. But right now, we're going to get things kicked off, head into this first match. O.J. Simpson making his debut against Tommy Chong. O.J. Simpson, Football Hall of Famer, but perhaps more famously known for allegedly murdering his wife with a 93 Ford Bronco, as the Chiron says there. Got Carole from Mattitude Home Force as the referee for this matchup. Last week, Chris Benoit made his return and officially joined up with Murderers Row and took on Cheech Marin, Tommy Chong's tag team partner in what I believe was Cheech's first ever singles match. And coincidentally, Cheech scored the upset victory on that night, last Thursday. So we're going to see if Tommy Chong can pull up what most would consider an upset in this matchup. Tommy Chong, far more experience in the MWF ring than is O.J. Simpson, debuting O.J. Simpson. But O.J. with that athletic career of his, years and years in the NFL, Heisman Trophy winner in college, the toned physique, that murderous rage, it's going to be hard to top the vengeance of O.J. Simpson in this match. It's not quite as threatening, though, I gotta admit, when O.J. is making airplane noises or whatever the fuck that's supposed to be. Gotta give both competitors credit for coming out here on their own tonight. Tommy Chong, not accompanied by anyone from the dank odor, and likewise O.J. not accompanied by his cohorts in Murderers Row. O.J. fully padded up tonight. You gotta think that affords him some sort of extra level of protection here in the ring. Oh, but no protection from that headbutt. Eschewing the helmet, Tommy Chong with the headband, not doing him any favors in terms of padding. Later on tonight, we've got New Jack in action in a special challenge match against Superhuman. New Jack, the leader of Murderers Row, didn't have anything to do tonight. Superhuman was talking shit to New Jack backstage. New Jack said, hey, you want to fight? Superhuman, being a complete dumbass, said yes. We got that match coming up later on. New Jack made a hilarious comment toward me on Facebook yesterday, which was pretty fucking awesome. Told me everybody deserves a crossbow. I'm gonna bring that up and show it on screen. Maybe a little later on when the match comes up. Alright. Let's see if I can open something up without screwing up the whole stream. So let's take a moment. Should be able to get this ready to go for later.
5 minutes.
We'll probably have time before the show starts. And there it is. Alright, all set. O.J. Simpson and Tommy Chong slugging out. O.J. getting the better of that exchange before collapsing briefly. Ow! Headbutt right to the nutsack of Tommy. Right to the dong of Tommy Chong. What if OJ's on cameo? Tommy Chong with the first cover, and not even a one count. Carole is really slow getting over there. Damn. So OJ used to be on cameo, but isn't anymore. That's unfortunate. Oh, the nice football tackle from OJ. Playing to his strengths. I'm wondering though if he's gonna bust out a knife, or I guess in this game it would be a sickle or a scythe. Just good shanking. Every time Tommy Chong goes for that rear waist lock, OJ ends up countering and falling backwards on him. Tommy's got to come up with a different strategy. He just gets smashed and then has a head driven directly to his nutsack, and not a good one. This time going for a backslide and he hooks it, but only a 1 count off that. I love that little noise he makes, it's hilarious. Tommy Chong now locking in a leg scissors on the head. That tackle again, but Chong able to duck it, hooks a suplex, and drops OJ on the back of his head. Going for that submission again.
10 minutes gone.
I think I got everything covered that I... Hey Mario, what's up? That's so crazy. I was just looking at my phone because I was going to tweet you to let you know the show was on tonight. Didn't know if you were aware it was on Wednesdays. Good timing. How's your Tuesday go or Wednesday going? I already fucked up the day. Yeah, that is Carole from Aqua Teen Hunger Force. Good eye. He's not the greatest ref, but he's getting it done. Drop kick from Chong, taking down OJ, and Chong with a suggested roll up. Only a 2 count there. OJ in his debut can't afford to suffer a loss here. Chris Benoit has already lost to Cheech Marin. We've seen Carole Baskin on her losing streak the last couple of matches, ever since being named #1 contender. Even New Jack has fallen to the smoked turkey on multiple occasions. Of course, this Sunday at Christmas Chaos, Cheech, Chong, and the smoked turkey from the Dank Odor taking on OJ Simpson, Chris Benoit, and New Jack, and there's the 4th. OJ 4th the shit out of Shlak. Well, hopefully you're able to relax, unwind, and enjoy yourself. Oh, now, as OJ lands a big tackle there, going off the ropes, and a spear, hammer down shots, and that's it. Submission to strikes. Tommy Chong gives up. OJ Simpson leaves Tommy Chong a bloody mess on the mat and wins this match. Oh man, that sucks. You got to work on Christmas Eve. Hopefully you at least get off work at a decent time. Don't have to stay too late. It's always harder to switch the damn scenes and Fire Pro on Steam. All right, OJ Victoria. OJ leads on a bloody mess. Yeah, that's what he does. Like Mark Henry says, that's what I do. It didn't sound, that sounded like fucking Yogi Bear, not Mark Henry. All right. I need to remember not to try to do anything resembling impressions of people. At least you have Christmas off. Yeah. Some people don't. I know more and more people do these days, but yeah. I have barely slept at all recently. It's hard just to keep up with all the scene switching and setting up all the matches when I'm the only one doing this right now. Alright. Had to check the card. Next up, we have a couple matches that will serve as a preview for the Tag Team Championship contest coming up on Sunday night. We've got both champions in singles action. First, Ronald McDonald is going to be taking on Carl Winslow. Last week, Steve Urkel was able to win a 6-pack challenge and secure a Tag Team Championship opportunity for his team, Steve Urkel and Carl Winslow. And I just picked Steve Urkel because I was talking about him. Urkel and Carl don't have the greatest record, but that 6-pack challenge last week involved members of teams that have never had a tag title shot before. Urkel was able to win that, going on to challenge for those belts on Sunday night. We'll see if Carl can get it done tonight. That's what I do, boo-boo. Ronald McDonald and the Hamburglar have reigned as champions for over 200 days at this point, more than 6 months, winning the titles on, I believe, June 3rd. And they've held on to them through 9 title defenses, coming up going for 10, going for double digits on Sunday night at Christmas Chaos. Looks like Carole inherited one of the sweaters from Bill Cosby after Cosby turned to the dark side. Why did Carole meow? Alright, hopefully my audio sounds okay. If you don't mind, please let me know if it's decently audible over the game noise, or even if it's too loud. I don't know why he meowed. This is I didn't have time to fully tweak everything with Carole in terms of like his taunts and all that for this show. I don't know what to tell you on that. Got Zoidberg as a referee. Okay, baby. Does the audio sound alright though? Like the commentary and game audio mix? Ronald hypnotizing Carole, holy shit. Nice strikes, that police training paying off. Haven't seen Carole in a singles match before. He's really showing what he's got. Oh, cool, thank you. I never know because I always have to tweak it whenever, well, depending on who's co-hosting with me. I'm by myself on Tuesdays, and then sometimes one, sometimes 2 people on Thursdays, and tonight, by myself again. Okay, baby. Hey, why is he talking like the turkey? That's not cool. Okay, baby. That does not sound anything like Carole. Going for the submission again. I think that's a chicken wing. I'm not quite sure. Not exactly well versed in my chin lock. But Ronald whipping out that Hurricane Ronald with his luchador style. These two trading blows, and Carole and Steve Urkel are kind of a wild card. Haven't seen them in tag action too much recently. When they were in action in the past, not the greatest win-loss record, but Steve debuted a new finisher in that 6-way match last week. Earned him the victory, knocked out Shredder in the process. So we're going to see Ronald and the Hamburglar run through all the usual challengers. They're going to have to face a new set of challengers this Sunday night. Going for the cover, not even a 1 count. Again, much like in the first match, I got to commend these competitors for coming out on their own. Oh my God! Carole Winslow with a springboard into a moonsault off the top, and then a super kick to the back of the head. Holy shit! Who knew? If I saw that coming, I could have been like, "Hey, fly, badass, fly!" And the moment's lost. I'd have ruptured Carle's spleen right there. Ronald went for the chair, but Carole managed to wrest it away from him. And a second time, just, oh my God. He's using that move as a setup to go grab the chair and inflict more damage. Surprisingly enough, tossing Carole back in the ring. I mean, granted, Ronald could bring the chair in there too. Oh no! Carole meowing again, yep. Letting Big Man, why is he doing this? That's got to add a little extra embarrassment if you're Ronald McDonald. You got a man meowing at you as he whips your ass. So, unrelated to wrestling, but how's the dawning going at Destiny? I've heard friends in my clan complain about it. I've been meaning to play, but haven't had enough time in the last couple weeks. Hey, Paul, what's going on, man? Thank you for joining us tonight. Got our second match. Oh, you didn't even tell me that you were coming up here. How long are you going to be in the area for? Or you can let me know in a message if you don't feel like discussing it publicly in the chat, but I had no idea. I mentioned in, not the last stream, not the one I was on, but the one before that when I was just in the chat, let me know if you're in Tyler for the holidays. And not in Tyler like the usual way you're in Tyler. Carole with the roll up and 2 only.
Okay, baby. Okay, baby.
Carole channeling the smoked turkey. Holy shit, the burning hammer from Carole Winslow? Are you kidding me? And not even a cover. He's winded after all that. Ronald with the cover and only a 1 count. Oh, shit. I thought Tyler was closer to Arlington, but apparently not.
Okay, baby.
Hopefully Brandy's the one driving while you're here in the Twitch chat. Ooh. Going for the burning hammer again, that's got to do it. If Carole can make the cover. And he's Carle's too out of breath again. The lack of cardiovascular conditioning from Carole Winslow. Really causing him problems here against Ronald. Ronald, as we know, has straight Big Mac sauce running through his veins. Missing that elbow at the top. Carole going for the super kick and whipping. The fork. Carle's meowing while stabbing Ronald McDonald with a fucking fork. What has gotten into Winslow? We never saw anything like this from Carole in these tag team matches with Urkel. Oh, the chop in the throat. Ronald juking and jiving like he is known to do. Yeah, being partners with Steve has to motivate him to anger. He's just taking out, he's picturing that Steve in the ring with it. And Ronald's bleeding from the fork. And Ronald's tap. 2 matches, two finishes where one person is left in a bloody mess on the mat, in a bloody heap, a pool there of blood. Carole Winslow with the victory in his first ever singles match. The cross knee breaker, all right. That's a huge win. Of course, the last challengers for the tag team championship, Freddy Krueger and Michael Myers, they were able to defeat Ronald McDonald and the Hamburglar in singles action, but they were not able to translate that, I'm sorry, into tag team championship gold. So Urkel and Winslow certainly hoping for better luck in their tag title shot coming up on Sunday night. And speaking of Urkel, he's coming up next. We've got these 2 men's tag team partners. Gonna have Urkel taking on the Hamburglar. And apparently my nose is just gonna itch throughout the entire fucking show. I guess he's under the Hamburglar. As I mentioned moments ago, Urkel looked incredible in that matchup last week. And I just realized when I posted the card I left a match off of it. Gonna have to remedy that. But, let's just leave Zoidberg in as the referee for this one for consistency's sake. Cannot believe I forgot to put... I swear I wrote it on the card. Let me see where I can work that in as the Hamburglar makes his way out to the ring. Fred Durst versus the Kool-Aid Man is the match that I forgot to include on the official card that was posted, in case you were wondering. So I think put that... Actually, you know, let's do that after this match. It's going to be a rematch from a couple of weeks ago, where the Kool-Aid Man's victorious over Fred Durst. And there we go. Yeah, I mean, allergies are a huge pain in the ass this time of year for sure. Even my cat's fucking got allergies right now. She's just sneezing constantly. Steve Urkel, the man who made Hitler submit to a testicular claw in his MWF debut. Well, both their MWF debuts. Oh, and Steve, known to favor those low blows, working the balls to lead up to that testicular claw, perhaps. That was Urkel's go-to for the longest time before this past Thursday night when he busted out that new finisher called Did I Do That? Might see him utilize that tonight. Might see him utilize both, to be perfectly honest. Oh. Have you gotten to that point yet where you can sneeze so hard that you just like fuck up your back? Because that's happened to me on a few occasions. And again, sleeping wrong does that too, so I guess it shouldn't be considered too much of a surprise. Hamburger with a surprising, well, not too surprising strength advantage, but the man eats exclusively hamburgers. That's a lot of protein. Oh, I was like, what's late patty? Nah. Looks like Hamburglar might be bleeding from the mouth. I know that's not possible in this game, but maybe bleeding entirely from all that McDonald's food. Zoidberg looking like some sort of crab Moses. Getting extra work here, holding double duty, back-to-back matches on Mattitude, and there's that Mahi Strong cradle, but not even a one count. Urkel assuming the fighting stance. He wants to provide a good showing here tonight after what Carole did in the previous match, just dragging Hamburglar's eyes across the ropes.
5 minutes.
Urkel fighting dirty in that low blow again. Hamburglar's face is indeed the stuff of nightmares. Somehow he looks even creepier in the game than he does in promotional materials from McDonald's. So I guess you would say you're not loving it. Urkel caught with that wacky roll up from the Hamburglar. Half the time he ends up in the ropes, the other half of the time Well, Zoidberg waddles on over there, but not even in time to get a one count. Urkel's been working the balls and the arm. I don't know what he's got planned. It's like a ball and arm submission. Oh! Roundhouse kick right to the face there. Impressive. A few flurries from Hamburg. A few McFlurries from Hamburglar's side. Urkel has maintained control of the majority of this match. Oh, I could have sworn they were in the ropes there. But one count says referee Zoidberg. Hamburglar going for the figure 4. Ronald McDonald, his tag team partner, using the figure 8 to finish matches. Not the last one, but that's how they retained their tag team titles last time around. No, the roll-ups are the most ridiculous moves. Yeah, I totally agree on that. I don't think I've ever seen anybody do that in real life. I mean, I've seen the Oklahoma roll, but not to this extent, I guess. I think that's technically the Oklahoma roll. I don't fucking know. I used to have a strong knowledge of all the technical names for moves, but it's kind of dissipated a bit over the years. Still can't believe that we passed 6 months with Ronald and Hamburglar tag team champions as Urkel hits a Mexican cutter. Once in a DDT match. Mario, of course, a former DDT Iron Man heavy metalweight champion. Yeah, it was either June 3rd or June 4th on an episode of Mattitude. They beat the first champions, Joe Exotic and a real life fucking Tiger, and they've got 9 successful title defenses going for number 10. Oh, Hamburglar may have finished Urkel with that, the Tiger driver, and then not able to make him submit. 9 title defenses over the last 6.5 months. Another Mexican cutter. Urkel needs to go for a cover. I don't understand what the holdup is here.
Nice.
Hamburglar's not shy of going for pins. Only a 1 count off that, though. See, I think Ronald and Hamburglar, they had 1 successful title defense against Joe Exotic in a handicap match when the Tiger didn't show up. And Hamburglar's using the stump puller to win matches too. And they had 3 title defenses against Will Smith and Carlton Banks. 2 against Freddy Krueger and Michael Myers. And I'm trying to think of who the other 2 were against. It's been such a long time. To be honest, I cannot quite remember at this point. I have to go back and check the record books. Oh, 2.9. Urkel almost got the win with that roll-up. And there it is. Did I do that? Another knockout. 2 times he's used that move. 2 times he's knocked out his opponent. He KO'd Shredder last week and then just destroyed the Hamburglar with that move right there. 100% success rating so far. And Steve Urkel and Carole Winslow have completed the sweep, beating Ronald McDonald and the Hamburglar in those 2 singles matches. Again, Sunday night, MWF Christmas Chaos, our next pay-per-view. Red Jed's going to be back with me calling the action. And those 2 teams are going to face off. Steve Urkel and Carole Winslow getting their first ever shot at the Tag Team Championships against Ronald McDonald and the Hamburglar. Coming up next, though, we've got a grudge match, ladies and gentlemen. A grudge match that somehow I almost forgot to put on the card. But by God, it's happening. Fred Durst. He debuted at the beginning of December, the first episode of Mattitude after our last pay-per-view. Picked up a huge victory with the $3 drill claw over CM Punk. But then in his next match, he challenged the Kool-Aid Man and lost. Last week, Fred Durst's tag team partner in the Break Stuff Club, the one and only Shlak, faced off against the Kool-Aid Man, picked up a victory there. Shlak's going to be in action a little later on tonight. That's why he's not coming out for this match. But Fred Durst, with his one-on-one rematch against the Kool-Aid Man, looking to avenge that loss, pick up a victory for his boy Chris Coron, the man who signed him to the MWF in the first place. And I think we're going to go with Tony Hawk as the referee for this match. Fred Durst versus the Kool-Aid Man, the rematch coming up right here, right now. Yeah, I understand, Mario. I've had all sorts of technical issues myself with with streaming recently, so I definitely feel your pain on that. But, I mean, no problems if it's late. It's a holiday season, everybody's got shit going on. You've been working hard, you've been enjoying your PS5 when you've not been at work, I'm sure. No, unfortunately, we haven't figured out a way to get Burt Reynolds back in yet. I would like to make his attire the same as it was on the PS4 version, but unfortunately, there's no way to view the attires and pieces used to create referees. So I just have to kind of manually go through the list, which I don't want to do. But I really want to bring Burt back. There's the version of him as a wrestler on the Steam Workshop.
Yeah.
So I guess I could incorporate that one as a referee, but it's just like a Burt in a suit. It's more like the Norm McDonald version of Burt Reynolds than it is actual Burt Reynolds. So I haven't really, other than keeping Snoop Dogg as a referee for the main events, I haven't really settled on a specific pattern for the referees. I think it's been Tony Hawk and Dave Grohl that, for the most part, refereeing the women's matches.
Oh, yeah.
Red Durst certainly looking for a different outcome tonight against the Kool-Aid Man. Kool-Aid Man been on a roll lately until that loss to Shlak. And they've got that same Tony Hawk available as a wrestler in the game too, if you want to download it. The exact same attire and all. Like I mentioned moments ago, Shlak is going to be in action later tonight. Last week, we had that six-way match featuring members of 6 different tag teams who had never earned a shot at the titles before. Steve Urkel was able to knock out Shredder in that one and secure a title shot for the team of Steve Urkel and Carole Winslow. Tonight we're going to have a 4-way match. The winner is going to challenge for the tag team championships next Wednesday night, 1 week from tonight, on MWF Mattitude, the first episode of Mattitude after our Christmas Chaos pay-per-view, and the last episode of Mattitude for the year.
Oh, yeah.
We're taking the members of the 4 teams that were not involved in the finish last week. Shredder and Krang's teams ruled out due to Shredder getting knocked the fuck out, and of course Urkel and Winslow have already got their title shot set. So we're going to take the remaining 4 teams and bring in their other members who did not compete last week. So representing the Break Stuff Club, we've got Shlak. Representing the MAGA Powers, we saw Magazord compete last week. This time around it's going to be Mike Pence. And Pinhead representing the 4 Horsemen team of Jason Voorhees and Pinhead.
5 minutes.
And Robin, the team of Batman and Robin. Those 4, one fall to a finish later on tonight. The winner is going to challenge the winner of Sunday's tag team title match. Belts are going to be on the line once again next week on Mattitude. I wanted to have a championship match for the last Mattitude of the year and for the first Mattitude of the year. So we got something in store for the January 7th episode as well, but that announcement is to be forthcoming. Oh, cool, man. I'm looking forward to see you there. Unless something goes wrong, which it always could, the way this shit works. Jed's supposed to be here with me. Chris is out of town for the week as of this past Saturday, and he's not going to be back until Sunday, late Sunday night, visiting the family, so he's off the shows for this week, and Jed waited until the last possible moment to do his Christmas shopping in a blizzard. So that's what he's doing tonight. Red Durst is really laying into the Kool-Aid Man, though. Fucking pissed about that loss from 2 weeks ago. We've got a lot of huge matches coming up on Sunday, so I'm excited for it too, more so than even our usual pay-per-views. Got 4 title matches. I don't know. He's been getting sick semi-regularly lately, plus working a lot, so yeah, had a busy schedule. Another face buster, Shades of Carnella, from Red Durst to the Kool-Aid Man. I kind of figured a while back that due to the holiday week and having to do the stream on Wednesday instead of Thursday, I was going to be alone for this one at least. Yeah, pretty much.
Oh yeah.
At least he gets to work from home for most of it. Still exhausting, but at least he doesn't have to go anywhere. Durst with the cover after the Ushigoroshi. If you're going to be tired and working a lot, might as well do it from home rather than the office. If possible. Kool-Aid Man sitting on the face of Durst again, but didn't do enough to put him away. Durst has got the majority of offense going for another Ushigoroshi. Cover again. Durst looks fired up. Oh yeah, no doubt. I'm not trying to say he's working any less hard than it would be otherwise, but at least there's no commute. Yeah. I'm sure everything else is pretty much the same. The Kool-Aidian Destroyer. Kool-Aid Man just hit the Kool-Aidian Destroyer on Durst. But instead of going for a cover, hits an elbow drop and takes himself out because what? I don't fucking know anymore. These Durst looking for the submission now in Kool-Aid Man. Haven't seen that from him before. Is he going for that $3 drill? Oh no, a suplex to the outside of the ring. Is Durst gonna fly? Freddy's gonna fly. Oh my god, the corkscrew plancha of the Kool-Aid Man. Chris Coron would be so proud. And the $3 drill claw on the outside of the ring. The Kool-Aid Man must be shattered. My god. But right back up with the belly to belly. They say this man is made of glass, but by God, he may as well be made of adamantium. Locking on that brutal bear hug, but he's on the outside of the ring. No submissions out here. Both men look completely spent. Is Durst going for it again? Oh, this on a suplex almost right through the announce table. And a third Ushigoroshi. High impact maneuvers all around from both these competitors. As I remind everyone, each time this happens, there are no countouts here in the MWF. And a Kool-Aidian Destroyer on the outside. Both men now have managed to hit their finisher line outside. Kool-Aid Man breaking the non-existent count. And the airplane spin. Last night on Mat Wars in WWE 2K19, I actually saw a match end with an airplane spin for the first time in my life. Durst going for the chair, taking it inside the ring. And right back out, impatient as ever. Nice double underhook suplex there from Durst. Not sure why he's not going back to the chair. Kool-Aid Man going for that Kool-Aidian Destroyer again. Durst saw it coming this time and blocked it, but only able to escape momentarily before getting caught in that bear hug. Kool-Aid Man tossing Durst back in. Both these men have done a lot of damage to their opponents. Durst seemingly feeling fine, getting funky. But no, right into another Kool-Aidian Destroyer. That has to do it. The cover. And it's over. Kool-Aid Man with his second consecutive victory, debuting his new finisher, the Kool-Aidian Destroyer, has once again defeated Fred Durst. And Chris is probably happy that he wasn't here to see that. Fred Durst moves to 1-2 in singles action. Also competed in that 6-way match last week, which he was unable to win, but was not involved in the finish. As we switch back to the magical melodies, that doesn't really work for music of this type, of Nick Pettigo. I have to make sure to shout him out for his musical contributions. Still waiting on him to sell his music to Mario. Alright, here we go. Coming up next, I had to insert that one into the card after the fact because somehow I forgot to include it on the official announcements. And where did the fucking card go? I know which matches we're doing tonight. I just want to make sure I get the order correct. Alright, cool. We have a women's tag team matchup coming up next. Our first women's match of the night and our first tag team match of the night. And it doesn't get much bigger than this in the women's division because we have the #1 contender, Carole Baskin from Murderers Row, teaming up with the former #1 contender, Alexa Bliss, to take on the women's champion, Wonder Woman, teaming up with the red-hot Lita, who's been on an incredible winning streak lately. Where'd she go? There she is. Again, this is a lot more difficult to go through on the Steam version. Not the game itself, but switching back and forth from Steam to OBS. And let's see, we had Tony Hawk referee the last match, so I'm going to bring in... You know what? Ellen. Ellen from the Adventures of Pete and Pete. She's only made one appearance here before. She's going to handle this women's match. Baskin, that bitch Carole Baskin and Alexa Bliss. Alright, coming up before the next match, so I gotta make sure to have this ready to go. I'll just put it on the desk scene, I guess. That way I can show you guys after the match. Mario, you might have already seen it. We'll find out in probably like 10 minutes or so. Hi. And we are underway. Ellen refereeing this women's tag team matchup. Put myself back on screen. Let's see if I can manage that. Where? Yeah. Okay. I'm working on it. Really should have had this prepared before the show, I just did not on time. Lita going after Carole Baskin. Lita defeated Carole Baskin last week. Baskin, ever since being named #1 contender, lost to Wonder Woman in a tag team match and Lita in a singles match, so she really needs to pick up a victory in order to earn some sort of momentum going into this Sunday's title match. Yeah. Browser capture or not? It's not. Got a chair in the ring. I'm still keeping an eye on the match, but also trying to set this up. Oh yeah, man, I love the Adventures of Pete and Pete, Mario. It was on that the Splat, the Nickelodeon thing where they brought back some of the old shows. Well, not brought back, but it showed reruns of the old shows starting a few years ago. I think they might still do it. But I watched the old episodes and they still held up, unlike certain shows from that era. And I did come across all the Pete and Pete characters, and I downloaded every single one of them. I just haven't used any of them. Got both Pete's and Artie and Endless Mike. Those are the only ones that I found besides Ellen. Somebody needs to make their mom's metal plate as a referee. Alright, I'm still gonna try to figure this out. I think maybe if I just do a screenshot, it'll work best that way. Wonder Woman going for a double power bomb. Wonder Woman and Lita on Carole Baskin. Oh, brutal. Carole's got Wonder Woman up on top. Wonder Woman reverses. Decided not to dive off the top though. Carole Baskin's partner Alexa Bliss was the last challenger to Wonder Woman. Wonder Woman and Lita seem to be in sync right now. Wonder Woman, that's how she finished off Carole in their last tag team match, that lifted German suplex. And I'm not sure whether Alexa Bliss broke it up or if Carole kicked out, but either way, this match continues as Bliss covers Lita. Yeah, I love the theme song from that show for sure. But that was one of my favorite Nickelodeon shows, period. Like I said, some of the shows from old school Nickelodeon did not hold up, but that one definitely did for me. Why am I not finding this? There it is. I really hope I do not miss the finish of the match.
10 minutes gone.
Boy, I just done this in the first place. Lita with the twist of fate on Alexa. Carole Baskin trying to use that chair on the champ. Wonder Woman. Lita with the cover on Alexa. Baskin will send Wonder Woman out of the ring, but Alexa able to kick out just a 2.9. Lita with another roll up. Carole Baskin not even making an effort to break it up, just all completely focused on Wonder Woman getting that float over DDT. Oh, the whippity do from Wonder Woman. That's got to be it. 2.9. Now Baskin using Wonder Woman's spinning lasso of truth brainbuster against her. If she can get Wonder Woman away from the ropes, she may be able to beat the champ with her own move. No, not like this. Oh, 2.9. This actually been crazy. Baskin going for the big moonsault, flying halfway across the ring. The champ is in trouble. And another float over DDT, but Bliss covering Lita. Oh, 2.9 again. Wonder Woman looking like she might be going for the finish. But Baskin has other ideas. The pedigree. And a Maestro cradle. Bliss with the cover on Lita. Oh, let's see if the referee Ellen would have counted Baskin's cover first. I think that might have finished it. Alexa Bliss going for the cover actually hurt her team. Now Wonder Woman with that spinning powerbomb may be able to... No, Lita looking to finish Baskin here. Oh, what is wrong with the #1 contendership in the women's division that it causes such a curse? Alexa Bliss became #1 contender, lost 4 straight matches, including her title match. And now, Carole Baskin, 0-3 since becoming the #1 contender. I do not know. That does not bode well for Baskin coming up on Sunday. But nonetheless, she will get the title shot at Christmas Chaos. And there goes the music. Alright, let's switch back to the disc. Actually, before I switch back to the desk, I need to get this in there. So, now that I've got a screenshot and cropped it, I should just be able to slide that right in. Hopefully. It does relate to the next match, that's why I wanted to be able to show it ahead of time. Alright. That'll work. Let's bring it up over the top. So New Jack is taking on Superhuman in our next match. And New Jack has been a part of the MWF since the very first show. The Coronavirus Cup, he won that tournament. And beat Donald Trump in the finals. And earned himself a World Championship match at Matt Mania. Didn't win it, but he got that match. So last night, this happened on Facebook. I was, of all places, in a Jim Cornette related Facebook group, because even though I don't agree with a lot of his personal opinions, I'm still entertained by the man, and I like his podcast. And he's just nice to me in person. So, of all the people to be in a Cornette group, who is the last person you'd expect to be in there besides Kenny Omega and the Young Bucks? Well, for me, might be this guy. New Jack is asking people what they're going to do with their second stimulus checks, and being the shameless promoter that I am, I tagged the Matt Wrestling Network Facebook page and said that I was going to he's going to improve stuff for the stream, which I will, but that was neither here nor there. I just wanted New Jack to be aware that I use him on the streams. I was like, there's no crossbows in the game, but your character surely loves to utilize those fluorescent light tubes and forks, and this was his response. Everybody owes himself a crossbow. So I loved seeing that. It's awesome. So thank you to New Jack for that. That brought a huge smile to my face. So hopefully we're gonna get to see New Jack beat the shit out of Superhuman here in a second. New Jack wasn't doing anything tonight. Just getting prepared for his match coming up on Sunday, that 6-man tag team match featuring Murderer's Row against the Dank Odor. Superhuman, being the complete idiot that he is, decided to challenge New Jack to a fight tonight, and that's about to happen right here, right now. And I think the only referee suitable for this match is Mr. Nick Fury. He's not going to take any bullshit. Alright. New Jack and Superhuman, Nick Fury as the referee. I tweeted that out earlier today, Mario. I wasn't sure if you'd seen it. I didn't want to mention it just in case you hadn't seen it. Figured the surprise would be worth it. New Jack on cameo is the best thing ever. I'm probably not going to pay anybody for any cameos because most people are priced far too high for what I would be willing to pay for them. New Jack is fucking hilarious. I know you're always cutting promos as New Jack in the chat too. So I knew of all people you would appreciate that screenshot. New Jack's Murderer's Row group has not been quite as successful as he would like. New Jack himself has lost the smoked turkey on a couple of occasions. Carole Baskin, as I mentioned not long ago, ever since becoming the #1 contender, has lost 3 matches in a row now. Chris Benoit, in his return in his official induction to the group last week, lost to Cheech Marin. But OJ Simpson had a stronger showing earlier tonight against Tommy Chong, so they got that. New Jack is hoping he can add to their momentum with a victory over this punk ass bitch superhuman, as he says. Probably should edit New Jack out of the death scene before I go back to it, though. There it is. Who's this pale ass dude trying to face me in the ring? He looks like he trained on a pig farm or a mechanic shop. Dude smells like oil and a horse's ass. For those of you who have been watching the shows lately, Superhuman has spent the last couple months or so getting the shit beaten out of him by the Four Horrormen. He teamed up with Joey Janela, brought in good friend Paul even. All three of them have just been repeatedly destroyed by the team of Jason Voorhees, Pinhead, Freddy Krueger, and Michael Myers. Oh yeah, New Jack cracks me up. Man, for real, if you have not checked out his cameo, they've got like 5 videos that you can watch that's a preview of what he offers. And even though he kind of repeats the same stuff at the end of it, he just puts his own little spin on it. He's always mentioning the same weapons, like, oh, I'm gonna hit you with this mace, I'm gonna stab you with this knife, I'm gonna shoot you, if that doesn't work, I'll get you with this crossbow. Yeah. I think just injuries and age probably is what happened to him. Yeah. I think he's probably in his mid-50s or so and did all kinds of insane shit. Even back like when Beyond the Mat came out 20 years ago, he was talking about how he had like no cartilage and parts of his body. That seemed to be a recurring theme. Terry Funk did the same, but Terry Funk was a lot older. Oh, look at that smug expression on New Jack's face as he goes for the cover. You gotta love it. Superhuman though, holding his own despite bleeding from the face. Giant cranium, because not that I ever talk. Yeah, I like the fact that on Cornette's podcast recently, he's been listening to, I guess probably watching, but we only hear the audio, different wrestlers' cameo videos. I haven't, in terms of New Jack's actual promos, I haven't caught the podcast where Cornette really does. I'll have to look for that. But they had various wrestler cameos. It started with the Undertaker's Survivor Series ones, and then this kind of is Brian Last has been playing. Well, if you've been following the podcast, you probably already know. But there are a few different ones on a video that popped up on YouTube the other day. Oh, there's that wonky animation of New Jack's diving headbutt. Oh, 2.9, almost finished for that. My favorite one was where New Jack was, it was like a 6-year-old kid or something, like a 6 to 8-year-old kid that he was addressing. And the kid had been like shoving his brother off the bed or hitting his brother or some shit like that. And New Jack just straight up threatened to kill him with various weapons, and it was amazing. But he's been all over that Cornette group, the Cult of Cornette group, the last couple of days ever since he joined. And I started, the stunner from Superhuman. And now sitting on New Jack's face, not like this, no. Oh wow. If New Jack would have lost to Superhuman, and another stunner right after I told him he was on our show. Watch, New Jack's gonna be watching the show and gonna come to my house to kick my ass. Only 2 again. 2 stunners from Superhuman. New Jack right back to that 4.
10 minutes gone.
I need to get Jim Cornette in the game. Superhuman trying to pretend New Jack hit him with the chair, but it wouldn't matter. There's no disqualifications. What the fuck? I have never seen Superhuman execute a dive outside the ring like that. I mean, he comes off the top rope, but wow. Oh, cool. I'll have to look him up. I don't know, like, managers don't really do much in this game, so I don't really know what I'd use it for. At least in the MWF. Basically, all my time in this game goes to working on stuff for the stream, so I don't really spend any time playing it just for fun. This is fun, but I mean, outside of this, I don't play it just like exhibition matches or anything like that. The Cornet driver? Is that like the Meltzer driver? Superhuman just warped around the ring post and ran right into the barricade. New Jack, oh, that chair right to the base, and Superhuman continues to hemorrhage blood from his forehead. Rolling back in the ring, keeping the chair, and Superhuman grabbing one of his own. New Jack didn't like that at all. But Superhuman caught him across the chest with it. New Jack right now wishing he had that crossbow. Oh God, the chair right to the back of the head. 2 stunners already. And then the chair shot's been, Superhuman made the mistake of stopping and flipping off New Jack. New Jack now doing the throat slit gesture and dropping him off the top with that headbutt. He's knocked down completely unconscious with that in the past. New Jack's probably looking for that big pile driver he likes to finish off his opponents with. I know you said you don't use Facebook, Mario, but there was another post on New Jack's Facebook from a few days ago that popped up in my newsfeed today. And it simply said the caption was Nude Jack. And it's New Jack in a bathtub with suds covering his unmentionables. I don't know why it was so fucking funny still. Definitely cannot show that on Twitch though. Oh, New Jack with the atomic drop, and thought he was gonna keep thinking he's gonna set up for that pile driver, but no, not going for it yet. Oh. In their pants, apparently. That's where they find this stuff. If you mean the weapons. If you mean New Jack, he posted that himself. New Jack just, he needs to use the chair. What the hell was that? Why was there a rope break?
You punk!
Oh, he's calling him a punk. Oh, and he knocked him straight out. Like, oh my God, New Jack.
Eat shit!
Telling everyone to eat shit, knocking everybody is ending their matches in pools of blood tonight. It's been like 4 out of the 5 matches that ended with somebody bleeding to death. Superhuman's used to that though. He's been facing off with the 4 Horsemen, getting his ass whooped. Huge win for New Jack, so I don't have to fear him finding my address and attacking me. I'm pretty happy about that. Both these guys are very entertaining to me for completely different reasons. But Superhuman continues to be winless here in the MWF. While New Jack, our first ever Coronavirus Cup winner way back in April of last year, has been on a roll. Aside from his defeats to the Turkey, been pretty much unstoppable against everyone else. Alright. Trying to alt-tab through 5 different windows. 3 matches remain tonight. Coming up next, we got that 4-way match featuring the partners of the competitors from last week's 6-way match, minus those who were involved in the finish. Sounds a lot more complicated than it actually is. But I already explained that earlier. I think we're going to have, I guess I got to switch to the Battle Royal mode for that. It's going to be 1 fall to a finish. Shlak taking on Mike Pence, Pinhead, and Robin. Now the winner of this match, along with his partner, will go on next Wednesday night to face off against the tag team champions, be they Ronald McDonald, the Hamburglar, who have reigned for over 6 months, or Steve Urkel and Carole Winslow, if they're able to unseat the champs coming up on Sunday night at Christmas Chaos. Referee Sasquatch. Make sure all the settings are still appropriate for the Battle Royal. And they are, thankfully. Alright, let's get this thing set up. The Boy Wonder Robin, representing the MAGA powers. Those dastardly bastards. We got Mike Pence. Shlak from the Break Stuff Club. I forgot that I put the 4 Horsemen in their own section. And Pinhead.
Fight!
I wonder what the hell this noise is. Oh well. Oh, it's interesting double team from Mike Pence and Shlak. So it's the first time we've actually seen that in this game. Mike Pence able to counter a roll up by Robin. This is going to be fast and furious action, not related to the movie in any way though. One fall to a finish. With Ronald McDonald and Hamburglar reigning as champions for so long, going through all these challenges, we're aiming to give new teams a chance to earn a shot at the title, the ones that haven't challenged for it before. Urkel and Winslow get their shot on Sunday, and then one of these 4 men will lead their team to a title shot next Wednesday night. We'll be doing one more Wednesday night show a week from tonight, December 30th, 9 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. Central, before resuming our weekly Thursday night broadcasting schedule for MWF Mattitude as of Thursday, January 7th, 2021. As if I needed to tell you what year. Seen a lot of double teaming going on so far in this match. Mike Pence may look like the underdog here, but he has used that top rope powerbomb to knock out numerous opponents in the past, including the Morocco bomb. Shlak reminds me of Brodus Clay or Brody King. Yeah. I definitely see similarities. Unlike Brody King, he's actually got muscular definition. And unlike Brodus Clay, as far as I know, he is not an ardent Trump supporter. We've got that going for him. No, I haven't really watched a lot of NJPW since they were on Access TV. That's mainly how I kept up with it, and I've watched the bigger shows like Wrestle Kingdom and such on NJPW World. But I just fell behind, so I don't think I've even seen Brody King outside of maybe a couple like 8-man tag team matches. I don't think I've seen him in NJPW. I saw a lot of him in Championship Wrestling from Hollywood. That was my introduction to him. And he made his way to PWG. And I was just never a fan. I don't have my own NJPW World account. I've used a couple of different friends' accounts in the past. I'm pretty sure you just sign up for it like anything else, like with the WWE Network. There's a website for it. They don't have an app, at least I think they have an app on mobile, but in terms of consoles, TVs, and all that, you just have to use a web browser. That's how it was the last time I used it. Admittedly, it's been, I want to say, oh, everybody's missing these top ropers. I want to say it was like spring of this year, last time I used it. Maybe even before that, maybe Wrestle Kingdom, because they stopped running events altogether for a while. It's been a while. It wouldn't be a Shlak match if Shlak wasn't bleeding all over the place. He had a lot of blood tonight in general, though. And then with a nice super kick on Robin, Pence was trying to steal the pin, but
Give up!
Be a huge deal for Pinhead to secure a title shot for Jason Voorhees and himself tonight after seeing Freddy Krueger and Michael Myers fail twice to secure this title. Why do you keep saying secure? I can tell with other words. Shlak with a pin on Robin, but referee Sasquatch was distracted. Oh, man, I need to catch up on all those United Wrestling Network shows. It's been Championship Wrestling for Hollywood. I've been a fan since like 2010, I think it was. around the time they first started. And the United Wrestling Network, it's so weird how all of that's come along, because I want to say it was 5 years ago that Dave Marquez created the United Wrestling Network after Championship Wrestling from Hollywood had withdrawn from the NWA. He wanted to create basically his own better version of the NWA. As Robin covers Shlak, even introduced the heavyweight title belt years ago on Championship Wrestling from Hollywood TV. But now they just finally crowned a champion this year. It's insane how long it's taken. And by the time they crown the champion, Championship Wrestling from Hollywood's already back working with the NWA. They're not an affiliate, but they're featuring NWA competitors on shows, and the United Wrestling Network pay-per-views are doing the same. Yeah, it was an NWA territory for quite some time. The Hollywood Heritage Championship started out as the NWA Heritage Championship. And they had the NWA World title as their main belt for a while. It's Colt Cabana and Adam Pearce. That whole feud, their Best of 7 series, started on Championship Wrestling for Hollywood. Pinhead with the cover now, and fuck. Yeah, I could definitely see Mike Bennett winning. Oh, Pence with the shoulder breaker. I have no idea who's going to win this match. Every time somebody hits a big move, I think it's over, but somebody comes and breaks it up. Pinhead showing a lot of combat skills here, hand to hand. And yes, I agree with you. That Sasquatch looks awesome. Yeah, the Scrap Daddy era. That was back when I used to go to shows when they were actually running, not in Hollywood, but close. They're in Los Angeles. Now they're in Port Hueneme, which is fucking, I don't know how far it is from LA specifically, but it's an extra 45-minute drive on top of the hour 15-minute trip it would have been to LA from where I used to live. I always love seeing Adam Pearce on WWE programming, just because I have such fond memories of him there in Championship Wrestling. A lot of guys came out of there and became big stars, though. I mean, you got guys like Willie Mack, Brian Cage, Chris Bay, Eli Drake was a former champion there, Scorpio Sky, and even people who have been getting national work more recently, Heather Monroe in AEW. There's several others that are slipping my mind right now, but oh yeah, I didn't realize. I knew some guys from Ring of Honor and NJPW were on the UWF pay-per-views. I didn't realize that some of those guys were working in ROH. I just haven't been keeping up with them. It is so hard to keep up with everything these days. Robin with another corkscrew crunch on Shlak. Only a 2 count. Is Ring of Honor 1 hour every week or 2? Oh yeah, Thunder Rosa. You're right. I do not know who Clark Connors is. Pinhead with a cover on Mike Pence. Oh, it's 2 counts. Back and forth they go. Robin and Pinhead doing a lot of damage. And now together, the high-low. Carl Fredericks, yeah, he was from the JPW. Oh, a 4-way down? Are you kidding me? 4 guys colliding. Everyone's down. It's the first time I've seen that. Carl Fredericks, he came from the NJPW dojo, right? Like the LA dojo? Or one of the dojos. I know when he was a young lion, he was showing up in matches for Championship Wrestling from Hollywood. Now, have you ever seen that before? A quadruple down? Oh! Shlak spikes him with that sit-down pile driver. If he wasn't in the ropes, that would have been him for sure. Pence going for a submission on Shlak, and it's over. No fucking way. Shlak suffers his first loss submitting to Mike Pence. I gotta admit, out of all the people in the match, Pence was the least likely to win from in my predictions. I've owned it since since day one on the PS4, so I know the Steam version was out close to a year, if not an entire year before that. Fuck. That's one for the highlight reel. Not the finish, but the 4-way down. So it looks like the MAGA powers, Donald Trump, Mike Pence, and the Magazord, some combination of those three, will be challenging 1 week from tonight for the tag team titles against either Ronald McDonald and the Hamburglar or Steve Urkel and Carole Winslow, depending on who wins the title match on Sunday night. Yeah, that's what I said, man, when I saw the finish. It's like, that seemed a little weak. There wasn't really any work leading up to the submission hold there. Although Shlak did take a lot of damage and he was bleeding. But it is what it is. Alright, 2 matches left tonight. I'm also going to quickly run down the pay-per-view card before we go off the air. Just gotta switch back from Battle Royal to a normal singles match. Coming up next, we have Joe Exotic taking on the Sith apprentice Count Cuckoo, formerly known as Bill Cosby. In recent times, Darth Vader, after making his debut here on Mattitude, well, first at Thanksgiving Throwdown in a Battle Royal, had his first singles match on Mattitude against Joe Exotic, and Darth Vader not only lost, but he lost by submission to a forced choke of all things. Joe Exotic stole Darth Vader's finisher and used it against him to get the win. And the week after that, Darth Vader challenged Joe Exotic's tag team partner, a real live fucking tiger, to a one-on-one match, hoping to earn some measure of redemption. It didn't happen though. The tiger beat Darth Vader. So, frustrated and embarrassed, Darth Vader went up and down the MWF roster looking for the most despicable, treacherous competitor that he could find to add to the Sith dynasty, to become Darth Vader's Sith apprentice. And out of all the people, we have a roster with the 4 Horrormen: Jason Voorhees, Pinhead, Michael Myers, Freddy Krueger. We got Murderers Row, literally 4 killers, and real life killers, not fucking movie killers. But Darth Vader, of all the people that were available, chose former #1 contender Bill Cosby, the man who utilizes the go to sleep, the sleeper hold, the put in pop drop, and now has trained in the dark side of the Force. We saw him use the Force choke and the Force push last week as Vader and Cosby, aka Count Cuckoo, defeated Joe Exotic in a real life fucking tiger in tag team action. Cosby and Joe Exotic are going one-on-one tonight. We're coming up on Sunday night at Christmas Chaos. It's the rematch. Darth Vader and Count Cuckoo, Bill Cosby, against our first ever tag team champions, Joe Exotic and a real-life fucking tiger, who have not been faring too well in the tag team ranks as of late. They're gonna go at it coming up on Sunday night. Tonight, this is the first time that we're going to see Cosby in action as Count Cuckoo using his Sith abilities. We're going to see if he can take out Joe Exotic. Both these men working on work release in prison. Deadpool the referee for this contest. And we are underway. Cosby versus Exotic. Yeah, whoever made this Joe Exotic did a much better job than whoever made it on the PS4. Is Cosby's bleeding already? Shit. Yeah, he kind of looks like Moff Gideon in a way. It's just I just gave him Vader's outfit, but without the helmet. It works. Yeah, I found that on Steam, a lot of the creations aren't quite as well done visually as on the PS4, which I thought it would have been the other way around, but not for the characters I'm looking up anyway. So had to do a lot of tweaking to make everything match what I had on PS4. But in terms of Joe Exotic, I kept the appearance that they used for the PC version, the Steam version, and just edited everything about the moveset and logic. Just about every match has involved bleeding, everybody getting in the Christmas spirit. Yeah, I was just, like I said, I was surprised. I figured with the there would be a much larger user base on Steam, and therefore much better creations, but not so much. Yeah, there's an updated version of Rhea Ripley on Steam that doesn't look too bad. Joe Exotic going for the figure four with the submission early on. Yeah, I don't know who the creator is. I'd have to go back into the workshop and double check. I've got her downloaded, but there's still a decent chunk of the roster from PS4 that I need to copy over. It takes like an hour per character just to make sure the appearance, the moveset, and the logic matches. The logic being like 29 different sections of just endless numbers. When I was trying to get everything ready for our first Steam show, which was the November 29th pay-per-view, I spent 35 or 40 hours in a week just trying to copy everything over. I've been working on it a little bit at a time ever since I've gotten this computer, but I completely underestimated how much time it was going to take to transfer everything. So it just was basically a full-time work week of Fire Pro every night.
Give up. Give up.
Joe Exotic keeps going for that submission, the figure four, but Cosby able to quickly make it to the ropes. Now setting up Joe on that top turnbuckle as he go. Oh! A big DDT off the top. Cosby not even going for the cover. That's been another recurring theme tonight, is competitors hitting massive moves and not going for a cover right after. But got the cover there, and only a one count as Joe Exotic goes right for the balls.
Give up.
That's how. Oh. Joe Exotic has won numerous matches in the past, squeezing the balls of his opponent. Cosby may very well enjoy it, though. I don't even know if Cosby still has his original balls. They may have been replaced with machine balls from the Empire. He may have two little Death Stars down there in his pants. I've thought far too much about this in the last 30 seconds. Big elbow drop off the top from Joe Exotic. Gotta wonder where Joe and the Tiger go if they are not able to pick up a win on Sunday. It's a big match for both teams. Darth Vader and Count Cuckoo, Bill Cosby. They just had their first match as a team last week. They're 1-0, but Cosby has been floundering for months now, and Vader couldn't get anything going in his first several matches in the MWF before teaming up with Cosby. So they need to get a win, keep their momentum going. Cosby takes Exotic away with a forced push. But Joe Exotic and a real-life fucking Tiger. They lost those tag titles way back in June. Ended up feuding for the entire summer when Carole Baskin put a mind control chip in the Tiger's head. But ever since reuniting, they lost. Those were the other two tag title defenses that I was trying to recall earlier. Going for the forced choke now. And lifted him up.
Give up.
Joe and the Tiger have lost two title shots since reuniting. Now they're at the back of the line again, just trying to fight their way to just a single victory. Yeah, Cosby has proven very adept in the ways of the Force. Of course he's using it for evil. But we haven't seen very much of Cosby in recent months. He challenged Superman for the World Championship back in July, I believe. And then Cosby disappeared for a bit after losing that. reemerged, helping out Bernie Sanders, who is possessed by the spirit of Gwildor, a 6,000-year-old demon from hell, trying to take control of the dream world from Freddy Krueger. Gwildor was doing that. Cosby was trying to help put people to sleep in order to enter the dream world and help take over. They failed in that endeavor, and Cosby disappeared until showing back up once again as Darth Vader's Sith apprentice, Count Cuckoo. Cosby's looked fairly strong in this match, despite being cut open very early on. Utilizing the force choke, the force push, now beating that chest. Cosby's got the go to sleep, the pudding pop drop in his arsenal, but right now just deciding to whip the shit out of Jones out of that chair. There's another force push. A stable known as the Dream Masters. Yeah, that Cosby and Freddy Krueger together. They don't get along too well right now, though. Makes me think of Little Nemo, the Dream Master. I don't know if you remember that NES game from back in the day. I have no idea how popular it was or not, because I only had like 10 games back then, and that was one of them. It's a pretty awesome game, though. They like go around throwing candy at these monsters and or like bubble gum or some shit, and then bubbles would come out of their nose. You jump on them and ride them. Oh, Cosby's doing the chicken dance, or well, some kind of bird dance. Both of these men have hit each other repeatedly in the balls, which I'm all in favor of when it comes to these competitors. They both deserve it. I need to take some screenshots of matches like this and print them out, send them to Joe Exotic in jail. He's in jail right here in Fort Worth, like 10 minutes away. And supposedly he responds to all fan mail. I've seen pictures that people have posted of his responses. Like, hey, you're teaming up with a tiger and fighting Bill Cosby. As Cosby goes for the force choke again, is Joe Exotic going to submit? And it's all over. Cosby with the force choke, choking out Joe Exotic. And for some reason, salsa-type music is playing upon his victory. I'm not sure if you're saying that Joe responding to the letters is nuts or what happened in the match, but either way, I agree. All right. One more match remaining on tonight's show. Going into the main event, we have the international champion, Superman. His only match since winning that title. He lost last week to the Undertaker. And the Undertaker is going to be one of his opponents tonight. As I try to juggle all this shit. Snoop Dogg, our senior official, working his first match of the evening, always taking care of the main event. There's nobody we trust more than Snoop Dogg to handle the big matches. On one side, the Undertaker and Thanos teaming up for the first time ever. Reluctant partners, both looking to pick up a big victory over Superman. Undertaker thinks that he deserves a title shot after defeating Superman one-on-one last week. Thanos was our first ever international champion, holding that title for 31 days before losing to Superman at our Thanksgiving Throwdown pay-per-view. And we've got a three-way dance coming up on Sunday at Christmas Chaos. Superman defending against both Will Smith and Thanos. Will Smith won a battle royal at Thanksgiving Throwdown to earn a title shot. Thanos was able to defeat Will Smith one-on-one on Mattitude to earn a spot in that match as well, making it a three-way dance. It's going to be elimination style on Sunday night. But right now, we're going to see a preview of that in tag team action with The Undertaker thrown in. And that is coming up right here, right now, in the main event of MWF Mattitude. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I've downloaded a bunch of characters that I haven't found a way to use yet. Only got one Fire Pro show a week. 8 or 9 matches per card, and the roster could accommodate at least twice that. Here's the international champion, Superman, making his way out here with Will Smith. Superman defeated Will in the International Championship Tournament semifinals, knocking him out with the Kent Special before going on to lose to Thanos in that tournament final. Will Smith has been incredibly successful, though, in his singles run in recent months, ever since his tag team partner and cousin, Carlton Banks, was taken out by Michael Myers at the 4 Horror Men. Carlton has yet to return from his injuries sustained on that night. And as this is our second tag team match of the evening, I didn't mention it earlier on, but all tag team contests here in the MWF competed under Tornado rules, thanks to the Kool-Aid rule. We were having a pay-per-view with a 6-man tag team match one time, and Chris Kohan was like, hey, these tag team matches take a while and aren't always exciting. Why don't we just make them tornado style so it's constant action? Chris came up with a great idea, and we stuck with it ever since. I think that's absolutely right, Mario. Carlton Banks was completely slaughtered by Michael Myers. But hey, he got off light compared to some guys. We saw Donald Duck and Goofy were legitimately murdered by Michael Myers and Freddy Krueger, so the fact that Carlton's in the hospital, or at least recovering, we don't know if he's still in the hospital. He was for a while. Probably recovering in his Bel Air estate now. Not yet ready to get back into the ring, though. Even if he was, I'm not quite sure what he'd be doing. Will's right in the thick of the International Championship hunt, and until Ronald McDonald and the Hamburglar potentially, if they ever do, lose the tag team championships, Will and Carlton aren't eligible for a title shot. They've already had 3 shots against Ronald and the Hamburglar. Donald and Goofy as zombies. That's actually not a bad idea. The actual reason I had to get rid of Donald and Goofy was because of the card scrapped heads, and they were not available on the Steam version. But it kind of worked out. The Disney Dynasty had run its course. It was a group that got together because John Moxley declared war against all Disney characters, and the Disney Dynasty defeated Moxley in that. But Donald and Goofy were always the weak links. Winnie the Pooh and Aladdin have struck out on their own and are doing all right. The plan was to bring in more Disney characters, but Moxley, and even after he brought in Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins for a little bit, just wasn't able to pick up any wins really over the Disney Dynasty. I mean, I can plan out whatever storylines and angles I want, but wins and losses are not up to me. That's the game simulating it, so I have to work with what they give. DDT. Superman with a cover on Thanos and a 1 count from Snoop Dogg. I saw Superman break out that new finisher of his in his match against the Undertaker, but it wasn't enough to put him away. See if he utilizes that tonight. Variation of the Muscle Buster. Of course, the Kent Special still works quite well at putting away his opponents. Now Thanos going for the cover on Smith, and Superman breaks that up. I'm not sure what Undertaker was doing. Oh, beat on Superman in the corner. And a nice kick from Will Smith. Superman cannot afford another loss. After being defeated by the Undertaker and Taker's return in a non-title match, Superman does not want to be on a losing streak going into his title defense, especially being an elimination match. Superman has to defeat 2 separate opponents. Can't just sneak out 1 pinfall. Smith tried to hit pay dirt but couldn't catch it. He misses that move more often than not. He's showing an impressive level of strength, getting Thanos up for that airplane spin again. Superman, Will Smith, and Thanos for the International Championship. One of 8 matches coming up for you on Sunday night. Again, after the conclusion of this match, I will run down the entire card before going off the air. Looking forward to hopefully having you all join us. Those of you who are able. I know everybody's busy this week with the holidays. Oh, Superman suplex to the outside. I wonder if he's going to come back in with one of those chairs. Fighting with honor, though. Not necessarily the smartest. Yeah! But that is vintage Superman. Superman and Smith going for a double team, but the Undertaker fighting him off. Undertaker and Superman have been paired off for the majority of this match. You know there's bad blood stemming from their last bout. Oh, and for the second time, going for that neck stab. Missing on the clothesline. Will Smith missing pay dirt again. Everybody's swinging and missing all over the place. Thank you, Mario. Glad we can count on you. I say that as if anybody else is letting me down by not showing up. Like I said, totally understand. People got shit to do, especially with holidays. The Kent special on the Undertaker. If Thanos didn't break that up, that may very well have been the end. I planned to have Christmas Chaos on the Sunday before Christmas, but WWE had to schedule their pay-per-view. Undertaker on the tombstone on Superman. The cover, he's in the ropes. Smith breaking it up anyway. Yeah! Oh, Smith's going for that wacky roll on the Undertaker. Normally we do these pay-per-views or try to on the last Sunday of every month, but we've had to change the dates to Thursdays on occasion in place of episodes of Mattitude because the WWE puts their pay-per-views for the last Sunday of the month. And a last ride on Will Smith. Is this going to do it? 2.9. But yeah, this one. The Royal Rumble was announced for January 31st, so we're just going to do January 24th for the next MWF pay-per-view. Keep it on a Sunday. Got 5 Sundays in January. Yeah! Oh, there it is, that muscle buster on Thanos. Yeah! Oh, and another one on the Undertaker. Yeah! Oh, Superman just flexed it. Will Smith getting jiggy with it. And a last ride again on Smith, and he's out. That does it. The Undertaker and Thanos have defeated Superman and Will Smith. Yeah, I have no fucking clue who's gonna win the Rumble. I watched TLC. I pretty much only watch the pay-per-views these days. Undertaker with another impressive victory. The fact that Undertaker has defeated the champ and one of the 2 contenders for the title, and he's not in that title match, that's got to be incredibly frustrating for the dead man. But I'm about to address that in a minute, don't you worry. Just got to switch back to the old desk scene. There's a lot of noise going on outside. Not quite sure what that's all about. So hopefully it doesn't come across too loudly on air. Alright. This is now the official go home music. The remix. No, I don't think it's anything to worry about. It's just typical noisy neighbors. But Alright, here we go. Christmas Chaos. Make sure everything's on here. Good. Alright, coming up Sunday night. Live here on the Matt Wrestling Network. 9 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. Central Time. As always, we have our Christmas Chaos pay-per-view. You saw The Undertaker with an impressive knockout victory in that last match. He's going to be in action Sunday night. The Undertaker is taking on Colossus from the X-Men, and the winner of that match is going to earn an international championship opportunity on the very first episode of Mattitude in 2021. January 7th, Undertaker Colossus is going to challenge the winner of the three-way dance this Sunday and get a shot at that title. Undertaker been building up a ton of momentum, so is Colossus. Colossus knocked out Hulk Hogan last week, so we're going to see which one of those two big hosses comes out on top. And as mentioned earlier, a rematch, Darth Vader and Count Cuckoo Bill Cosby. They defeated Joe Exotic and a real-life Bucket Tiger last week. They're going to be facing off in a tag team rematch this coming Sunday night at Christmas Chaos. We have 6-man tag team action. The Dank Odor, 3 members of the Dank Odor anyway. The smoked turkey that escaped from New Jack's house at Thanksgiving, teaming up with Cheech and Chong. They're going to be taking on New Jack, OJ Simpson, and Chris Benoit. We have a very special Christmas matchup for you. Danger in the Manger. It's going to be a fatal 4-way match. One fall to a finish. You're going to see the one and only Jesus Christ, who you've seen compete here a couple of times against Captain Planet and against Hulk Hogan. He's going to be in action on his birthday, close to his birthday weekend, taking on the Grinch, Santa Claus, and Krampus. Winner of that match has bragging rights for Christmas for the entire next year. And then we move on to the championship contest. The international champion Superman, as was mentioned during the main event, is going to be defending in a 3-way dance. It's an elimination style triple threat. Going to be putting that belt on the line against Will Smith, who was knocked completely unconscious via a last ride moments ago, and against Thanos. Then, women's champion Wonder Woman puts the title on the line against Carole Baskin. Carole Baskin on a 3-match losing streak. Not really liking her chances this Sunday night, but hey, stranger things have happened. She's going to be representing New Jack's group Murderers Row, taking on Wonder Woman for that women's title. Then in tag team action, Ronald, McDonald, and the Hamburglar attempting to make their 10th successful title defense. They've reigned as champions for over 200 days. Steve Urkel and Carole Winslow are getting their first ever tag team title shot. Urkel and Winslow were both victorious over the Hamburglar and over Ronald McDonald tonight in singles actions. Can they take that momentum and translate it to a tag team title victory on Sunday? We're going to find out in a few days. And then, I'm with you, Mario. I'm supposed to be unbiased, but I wanted to see somebody beat them. It's been ridiculous. 6 months in Firebird time with weekly shows is like 5 years in an actual pro wrestling organization. Anyway, our main event of the evening, for the 3rd pay-per-view in a row, we've got Rob Van Dam and Captain Planet going at it for the world title. RVD, undefeated at the time, beat Captain Planet a couple months ago for that title. Captain Planet won it back for him. And then, did I just get that back? No, I did. Kind of. I fucked that up a little bit. RVD beat Superman for the title, lost it to Captain Planet, won it back from Captain Planet. Captain Planet's the only man to put a loss on RVD's record. The leader of the Dank Odor is looking to retain his title and put an end to the feud once and for all when those two go at it in a 2 out of 3 falls match. Sorry for the errors. I'm a little discombobulated, running on 3 hours of sleep, but hey, we got through it. Had a lot of fun with tonight's show, and I hope you guys did too. Appreciate everybody hanging out and getting involved in the chat. Paul, thanks for partaking earlier, even though you're in the car. Like I said, hopefully you weren't the one driving. And I'd like to give a special congratulations to anyone who doesn't know. During Paul's holiday stream, EastX Twitch's holiday stream this past Saturday night, which I co-hosted along with a couple other cool people, Paul and his girlfriend at the time, Brandy, did a gift exchange, and Paul surprised her with a ring and proposed, and they're officially engaged now. So congratulations to Paul and Brandy for that. And yeah, just wanted to get that in while I was on the subject with Paul. Hopefully we'll see him on Sunday night. I'm not sure what his plans are since he was traveling for the holidays and all that. But I'll pass along that congratulations, Mario, just in case he doesn't see it. Thank you for that. And thank you to you especially for being here this whole time, man. I think that about wraps it up for tonight. I always end up rambling at the end of these shows because I never know how to end them. But we'll be back on Sunday night, 9 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. Central. Myself and Red Jet, MWF Christmas Chaos. So be there or be square, as the kids say. I immediately regret saying that. But what you won't regret, and what none of us will regret, is Christmas Chaos on Sunday night. See you then.